Right, everybody, welcome back to the latest news. Now we'll be talking about Casemiro staying at Manchester United. We've also got some updates on Garnacho, Terrell Malacia, who we haven't spoke about in a very long time. Stuff on Garnacho, Onana on loan. And yeah, listen, I'm going to get in by talking about the Casemiro stuff. So Casemiro is set to stay at Manchester United next season. Manchester United will not stand in his way if decided to cash in by moving to Saudi. So this actually came out from the Mirror. So again, can't really isn't the most reliable source, but it certainly is an interesting conversation to have. Casemiro makes final transfer decision on exit at Manchester United. And yeah, listen, it's looking like he's going to stay. Casemiro set to stay at United. He believes he's got the best chance of making the Brazil 2026 World Cup squad, and that is enhanced by staying in the Premier League. He wants to stay, and yeah, that's really about it on the Casemiro stuff. Now let's have a conversation. I think it certainly is something to talk about. I think Casemiro, who is a player who again has struggled at times in this Manchester United team, certainly towards the end of the season, he was one of our most important players. But at the start, he did struggle. Now, if you look at the sort of wages, he's on 350k a week. He's 33, 32 now. Like, he ain't getting any younger. Certainly, the benefit to keeping him, his experience, is quality. But he's our highest earning player. His contract runs out next summer, so I think he will probably just leave on a free. If he's not going to leave this summer, and I think he will be someone who stays at Manchester United. As I said, I'm not the most pleased with that, but again, you're just going to have to you're going to have to just see and kind of firm the sort of thing that's saying. I mean, Casemiro would be one of those players I'd sell for many reasons. Huge wages, so allows us to reduce our wage bill. Allows the promotion of a younger player and give them a space on the bench, maybe a Toby Collier, Sekou Kone, Jack Fletcher. However, and also, I just don't think, he's inconsistent. He can have a good run of games, however, he can have a really, really poor run of games. However, you do lose that experience that you have with Casemiro, which was kind of vital in part of last season. And listen, his career at United was all right. I mean, the first season was fantastic when he came in. Had a very, very good season, was integral, scored a lot of goals, got a lot of assists. Then his second season was very, very poor, looked lethargic. And last season, the one that just went, he worked very, very hard to kind of get back to playing at his best. And he was at that for the last remaining part of the season. If you remember, he couldn't get into the team at the start. And then now he was a consistent player. But listen, it's looking like he's going to stay. He ain't going to reduce his wage. I'm frustrated about it, but we're going to have to move and see. But listen, he will probably get minutes. But just the wage is a huge issue. The next thing, Antony. Manchester United Antony is a target of a potential permanent transfer to Betis, with talks between the clubs ongoing. Manchester United have been talking to Betis about owning some of Antony's registration rights, which is basically a sell-on clause if he is sold in the future. So it's looking like Betis are the main club going after Antony at the moment. Obviously, he's a player who has struggled at Manchester United. We know he's going to leave. Betis are signing players. They let the midfielder go, Johnny Cardoso, for I think 25. So they have got money to spend on players. It's just all about whether they do buy Antony. I think they should. I think Betis, he suits them very, very well. There's some good players there. And I think he's someone who will suit them. So that's the latest on Antony. Manchester United sits on a permanent deal for Højlund, otherwise he will stay. I think we kind of knew that. Now the next thing, second bid for Bryan Mbeumo put United closer to a deal. Discussions ongoing on add-ons and details, including agent fees. Overall and base fees still up for change. United fully intent and prepared for players' arrival, and new offer hope to reach full agreement expected fairly imminently. So it's looking at the Mbeumo deal is close. We know that the medical is expected for next week and contract signing, so we see what will happen. Obviously, we have had that second bid that's kind of it's saying been rejected of 62.5. As I said, there's a few just dots to kind of be sorted. This would obviously be Brentford's record sale. So they're just trying to get as much money as they can out of Manchester United, which is understandable. there is confidence and there is hope, and Mbeumo will be a United player, which I think he will be. So we'll have to wait and see what develops. Now the next thing, Andre Onana can leave Manchester United on loan this summer. So listen, Onana on loan, just loaning the keeper is just a bit of a weird one. I think if you're going to go, it's just a lot of, you're going to loan him, then you're going to have to pay some of his wage, bring another keeper in, who might not be here long term. Like, if you're going to sell Onana, just sell him and get 30-40 million or how much you can for him and then move on. Now, the next thing I want to talk, Manchester United might have to pay players to leave the club this summer because they're lengthy and lucrative contracts. Marcus Rashford and Garnacho are among those they want to sell but are finding it hard due to big wages. Now, listen, Garnacho, in terms of wage, I've got it here. I think he's on 50 grand a week, which Garnacho, yeah, he's on 50 grand a week. But if you look at someone like Rashford, he's on, what was it, 300 K, something like that. So certainly on the Rashford side, it would be very difficult. I think 50k is a reasonable sort of salary to pay for a player. Again, there hasn't really been much talk about Garnacho and Rashford exit. Just that next week when United come into pre-season, they are likely to be there, ready to go. We know United don't want to keep him. We know Amorim doesn't want to keep him. It's all about finding their exits, which has been very, very difficult to do. But again, the main reason is due to probably the pay that they want, or the pay that they run, or there's not many clubs interested in them. As I said, we've seen it with Sancho. He's not willing to take a pay cut. He's moving very, very stubborn at the moment. So let's see, but we might have to pay players, and it just shows how poor, like, the sort of wage. I mean, giving Rashford that 300k plus contract was a very poor decision at the time. Garnacho, listen, he's still a young player, but he's not on the most ridiculous wage. Now, the next thing, PSV will not trigger their option to buy Malacia. He will return to Manchester United. Now, listen, Malacia, I kind of forgot he even played for United, to be fair. We bought in Dorgu. We've obviously got Shaw. He will probably still be here. We've got Diego Leon coming in. I don't think we're in need of Malacia, so we're going to see if we can get some money with him. Obviously, PSV are not going to trigger their option to buy, which again is frustrating. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I just hope we can get maybe a 5-10 million for him, like we did with kind of Alex Tellers, and kind of use that money to kind of sort out the rest of the squad. But that has been the latest update. Casemiro set to stay, and yeah, let's see.